And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, may I present you Seth's Storytime with your favourite host, Seth Loves Fizz and Bella 2003. Thank you very much, the Fat Controller, and welcome to yet another episode of Seth's Storytime. And I hope you guys are having a great working week. And hope you young ones had a great week at school. And we're still reading Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, big storybook with 22 greatest stories. And last week that I've read to you guys was Edward, Gordon and Henry. But today's story that we're reading is Thomas's Train. And as you guys saw in these last episodes, I've already read Thomas and the Passenger Train, which features the same story as this. But this time it is not in animated. This time it is in model. Alright, so here I go reading for the second time, Thomas's Train. Here it is. Thomas the Tank Engine often grumbled to the other engines. "I spent all my time pulling coaches about ready for you to take out on journeys," he said one day. The other engines laughed. "Why can't I pull passenger trains too?" he asked. "You're too impatient," they said. "You'd be sure to leave something behind." "Rubbish," said Thomas. "I'll show you." One night, he and Henry were alone in the shed. Henry was ill. The man worked hard, but he didn't get better. Henry felt just as bad next morning. He usually pulled the first train, and Thomas had to get Henry's coaches ready. If Henry is ill, Thomas thought, perhaps I shall pull his train. Thomas ran off to find the coaches. Come along, he fussed. There's plenty of time, grumbled the coaches. Thomas took them to the platform and wanted to run around in front at once. But his driver wouldn't let him. "Don't be impatient, Thomas," he said. So Thomas waited and waited. The people got in. The guard and station master walked up and down. The porters banged the doors. And still, Henry didn't come. Thomas got more and more excited. The Fat Controller came out of his office to see what was the matter, and the guard and the station master told him about Henry. "Find another engine," he ordered. "There's only Thomas," they said. "You have to do it then, Thomas," said the Fat Controller. "Be quick now." So Thomas ran around to the front and backed down on the coaches, ready to start. "Don't be impatient," said his driver. "Wait till everything is ready." But Thomas was too excited to listen. What happened then, no one knows. Perhaps they forgot to couple Thomas to the train. Perhaps Thomas was too impatient to wait till they were ready. Or perhaps the driver pulled the lever by mistake. Whatever it was, Thomas started. As he passed the first signal box, the man waved and shouted, but he didn't stop. "They're waving because I'm such a splendid engine," he thought importantly. Henry says it's hard to pull trains, but I think it's easy. Hurry, 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 he puffed, pretending to be like Gordon. People have never seen me pulling a train before, he thought. It's nice of them to wave. Thomas whistled, "Peep, peep, thank you," and hurried on. Then he came to a signal set at danger. Oh, bother, he thought. I must stop, and I was going so nicely too. What a nuisance signals are! And he blew an angry peep, peep on his whistle. One of the signalmen ran up. Hello, Thomas, he said. What are you doing here? I'm pulling a train, said Thomas. Can't you see? Where are your coaches then? Asked the signalman. Thomas looked back. Why, bless me, he said, if we haven't left them behind. Yes, said the signalman. You better go back quickly and fetch them. Poor Thomas was so sad he nearly cried. Cheer up, Thomas, said his driver kindly. Let's go back quickly and try again. At the station, all the passengers were talking at once. They were telling the fat controller, the station master, and the guard what a bad railway it was. But when Thomas came back and saw how sad he looked, they couldn't be cross. He was coupled to the train, and this time he really pulled it. Well done, Thomas. I'm very proud of you. You deserve a sticker. But for a long time afterwards, the other engines laughed at Thomas and said, Look, there's Thomas, who wanted to pull a train, but forgot about the coaches. Pretty funny this story this was. And that's the end of this chapter. And thank you so much for watching this video. And make sure you subscribe to Seth Loves Fizz and Bella 2003. And don't forget to give me likes, turn on notification, request me some more videos. Don't you ever steal my videos. And give me positive feedbacks. That's the 6 main things you guys have to do. Alright, Thomas and the Trucks is what we're up to next week. And I'm looking forward to read it to you guys. Alright, I will see you next week for another Seth Storytime. Peace out.